A Nepali government official says many foreign climbers are continuing their attempts to summit Mount Everest. That's despite reports of a CCP virus outbreak at the base camp of the world's tallest peak.
Climbers are continuing to scale Mount Everest like normal, according to a Nepali government official, despite reports of a COVID outbreak at the base camp of the world's tallest mountain. Lucas Furtenbach of the Austrian Furtenbach Adventures Company evacuated his team from the mountain this month.
So far we have about 100 confirmed cases in Everest Base Camp, confirmed by doctors, by hospitals, by insurance companies, by expedition leaders, by helicopter pilots who were flying out the patients, and of course by the climber themselves that have been confirmed PCR tested in Kathmandu.
But authorities have been downplaying it. The Department of Tourism says it has received no notice of an outbreak there. Rudra Singh Tamang, the Director General of the agency, says if an outbreak was confirmed, no activities would be possible.
In Nepal, mountaineering activities are continuing as normal. Even today, a team is in the final stages of climbing Everest. We have had successful ascents in the 2 windows so far, and one team is waiting until May 29th for another window.
In April, a Norwegian climber was evacuated from the base camp of the nearly 30,000-foot mountain and flown to Kathmandu, where he tested positive. Nepal, which receives millions of dollars in income from climbers every year, issued 408 climbing permits for Everest for the April-May climbing season this year, after closing the peak last year due to the pandemic.
Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping and his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, are teaming up to cooperate on a nuclear energy project. Putin and Xi are to start the construction of 4 new power units at 2 nuclear plants in China. They'll be powered by Russian technology. This comes amid construction of 2 other nuclear reactors in China. But concerns are rising over what they'll be used for. Only Beijing knows whether they'll serve civilian energy purposes or be used to make nuclear weapons. Frank von Hippel, a senior nuclear research physicist at Princeton University, says he's worried. A recent paper he co-authored predicts that China could produce close to 1,300 nuclear weapons by 2030. China is thought to already possess around 300 nuclear warheads. If true, the new project could mean a 4-fold increase. President Biden's global corporate tax plan is coming closer to reality. The Financial Times reports the G7 could reach its own deal on Biden's minimal tax proposal as soon as this week. NTD's Tom Ozimek has the details.
7 of the world's most advanced economies are close to a deal on the Biden administration's proposal for a global minimum corporate tax rate. That's according to the Financial Times. The report says G7 countries could reach an agreement on the global tax proposal as early as this Friday. The Biden administration has proposed a 15% global minimum tax rate. This would limit the ability of companies to shift profits to tax havens. The proposal is part of the administration's effort to blunt the impact of raising the U.S. corporate tax rate to 28%. President Biden initially proposed a 21% global corporate tax, later reducing it to 15% in the face of opposition. The G7 has no formal role in the global tax negotiations, which are taking place under the auspices of the OECD and the G20, which involves nearly 140 countries. But a G7 deal would be a powerful force and a prerequisite for agreement in the formal negotiations, which are taking place in Paris. An OECD agreement could lead to the biggest shakeup in international corporate taxation in a century. Tom Ozimek, NTD News.
For many people in Chicago, seeing the frescoes in Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel is something they could only dream of. But one exhibition organizer has found a way for them to get to see this sacred art up close.
Exhibition organizer Martin Bialis tells NTD he wanted to create an up-close experience of the Sistine Chapel.
So that's when I came up with the idea. I said, what is if I can get the license for these images and just reproduce them in the original size? That's really the thing, for people to see up close. You're basically walking 10 feet underneath the ceiling. That's really what's happening.
Chicagoans were able to appreciate the exhibition's opening to the public on May 19th.
I saw a lot of my great, favorite works that I've always loved, since school. I've seen these in, humanities classes, but I've never actually seen them in, such on a large scale like this, and it's just a great opportunity.
Previous visitors to the Sistine Chapel are also enjoying the exhibition.
Well, the actual chapel, the unfortunate thing, because it's 60 feet up, you can't get close. But having these pieces, so up close and just so, few feet away from you, it's like, that's what they look like.
The secular setting allows for guests to openly discuss Michelangelo's masterpiece.
Also, when we were at the Sistine Chapel, all of the priests were going, shh, shh, shh. You couldn't really discuss it. We had to be quiet.
Weidman is planning on bringing members of his office to the exhibition and encourages everyone to see it. Organizers say tickets to the first 3 weeks of the Chicago exhibition have already sold out.
A vivid purple-pink diamond ring set a world record for a diamond with this rare color combination. The Sakura diamond sold at auction for more than £20.6 million. The 15.81 carat ring was sold by Christie's Hong Kong. Bidding opened at £15.5 million and climbed to the final hammer price of £20.6 million. Sakura is the Japanese word for cherry blossoms that bloom for a very short period at the beginning of spring. The previous price record for a purple-pink diamond was held by the Spirit of the Rose. The 14.83 carat stone sold at auction for more than £18.7 million in 2020. Soaring more than 55 miles above the Earth, Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic completed its first test flight for more than 2 years. Competition with Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is heating up.
For the first time in more than 2 years, Virgin Galactic, the space tourism firm backed by billionaire Richard Branson, conducted a successful space flight. Saturday's flight was only the third successful trip for the VSS Unity. The company marked the moment with a tweet, quote, "Welcome to space." Virgin Galactic is in a space race for the futuristic space travel industry, backed by other billionaires, including Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Elon Musk's SpaceX. But Virgin Galactic has had its share of setbacks, including many delays and a fatal 2014 crash. It is, however, pushing forward. It already has 600 customers signed up to fly to the edge of space for $250,000 a ticket. The 90-minute trip will take passengers some 60 miles above the Earth. Saturday's successful test flight marks a milestone that brings Branson one step closer to his 2-decade effort to fly paying customers into outer space.
That's the news for today, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Stuart Lees.